inquiring minds want to know.
Well, no, Welcome back to the Keys to Success podcast. You have your host, Tilisa Stubbs. And of course, I have my beautiful co-host, Deba Douglas. How are you doing, girlfriend?
I am wonderful. How are you doing this beautiful Tuesday?
I'm doing good. You know what? I'll just say this real quick. This week, I have just been feeling like I just need to rest. And sometimes when we have those feelings, we can kind of feel like, I don't know. I feel like I just need to kind of just push through it and just kind of give it my all. But I'm just starting to just kind of like listen to my body. And so me and my husband went to go see a movie today, and it was just like exactly what I needed. And so, yeah, I'm listening to my body this new season in my life.
That is beautiful. And I love that. Love that about you. And honestly, is that taking that time to reflect on yourself as well.
Yeah, exactly. So without further ado, we have my girlfriend LaDonna on here today. Me and LaDonna met through Amy Majori and Raising Private Money, the mentorship. LaDonna and I have spoken on a couple of occasions, and she's just such a wealth of information, and she's such a genuine individual. And so I really wanted to have her on the podcast just to kind of share her story. And just kind of share her light with the audience. And so, LaDonna, if you just want to kind of just take over, who is LaDonna and how did you get into real estate? The stage is yours, girlfriend.
Oh, that's too much. That is way too much. But first off, I want to like it's a level of maturity to acknowledge that sometimes you just need to slow down. Because I'm going to tell you, there was for years, I did not have that level of maturity. I was always anxious and always like, I had to go. I was always feeling, I had the FOMO. I was feeling I was missing out. And it's only been recently where I'm doing what you're doing, where you're acknowledging like, hey, if my body's saying slow down, I slow down. So I'm more slow now than ever. Like I'm more slow than action taker. And I guess my body's telling me a lot because I foster puppies, I paint rocks. And honestly, I spend the majority of my time doing that because I just have this, inner voice that's telling me like, it's okay. It's okay to take an hour off, a day off. It's okay to sit on the couch and watch a show, where I used to not have that ability. I couldn't slow down.
And it's so, I feel like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that makes us feel bad or makes us feel like work is not going to continue or like good things aren't going to continue to happen if we just decide to take rest. And it's like, I'm finding that rest is a part of it. It's a part of it just as much as me checking my emails and me analyzing deals and me looking for private money. Rest is an essential part of that. And I've noticed that when I don't have that rest, the people who are around me, who I love, they don't get the best of me. And I don't like who I become when I'm drained.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's funny you say like, as you're saying that, I'm sitting here like relaxing my shoulders, like, okay, like I was even sitting here kind of tense. I'm like, girl, just relax while you're sitting here. You can do it.
Like seriously.
Yeah. So I think like the sooner people can realize that it isn't it's all the things we've been programmed. It's a rat race. You got to hustle, like all these words that I bought into that I don't buy into anymore. It's not a rat race. I don't have to hustle. What my lifestyle by design is probably different than everybody else's. So I'm not trying to get to yachts and private planes. I'm actually very comfortable, like I said, gardening, fostering dogs, painting rocks. Girl. That's what brings me joy and peace. So, but I can tell you this past month, I have been at peace and anxiousness at the same time. So I don't know how I accomplished that, but I'm at peace, but I'm also anxious because I'm doing new things. I'm going in new directions. And that brings a sense of urgency. So I have peace and urgency.
Oh, that's so real.
Yeah.
Like, to know that they coexist together. I feel like all the time we're like, oh yeah, I'm good, or things are just bad. It's like, no, it kind of coincides, and we just learn to kind of live with the good and the bad. Me and Deba were kind of talking about that one time.
Yeah, I think it's that whole, I don't know, like, I think my definition of work-life balance, this could be one word, like, sometimes it's work with work, sometimes it's life. But there is no one answer for even me. It's work, work, work. Sometimes it's life, life, life. Sometimes it's work, life, work, life. And that ebbs and flows. Right now, I would be more in a flow than an ebb. So that's where that kind of anxiousness comes in, because I'm starting a new business. I'm starting a new community. And of course, I want to do it at lightning speed. And that's something I have to deal with. Like, again, I'll just take a deep breath. I'll still do it at lightning speed because I don't know how to do it in any other way.
Girl.
That's just what I'm going to have to deal with. So I'm at peace with myself, looking at myself like, oh, you're about to be like high level anxious. Oh, well.
That's kind of part of it. So,
Yeah.
okay. So you said that kind of right now you're at this flow, but I know LaDonna prior to this was work, 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 get those deals.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, when did you start with your real estate investing journey? I know you were doing a very specific niche with like auctions and things like that, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I flipped my first house in 2009. And back then we were in a legit real estate crash. Like, now when people are like, it's a real estate crash, I'm like, adorable. That's cute. That's so precious that you think that. I was in a legit historic real estate crash and decided to flip houses while prices were going down. So there was a definite sense of urgency because we had to get a house, get it done, get it on the market, and get it sold before prices decrease, and then putting a buyer and a seller together. So flipped my first house in 2009. Got the bug, loved it. Thought, oh, this is my jam. I'm now an entrepreneur, like doing a little entrepreneur dance, living my best, high-fiving myself. And then it became a job immediately. I was working from sun up till sundown. I was the one taking, going to Home Depot, getting the toilet, putting it in my sedan, which it didn't fit. So, putting in the trunk, trying to figure out how to get to the job site without it falling out, and realize like, there is a better way, because there's people who are doing 30, 40, 50 flips a year. And I just couldn't see how to get there, because at the pace I was doing like 6, but I was all day, all night until on Tuesday. So I got a mentorship. I joined a real estate education company, and what they taught me were the systems and tools on how to run it as a business, how to work on my business, not in my business. And that was my game changer. I went from doing 6 flips a year to 26 flips the very next year. And I'm telling you, I did it on a third of the time. And so I got my time back. And that was the biggest lesson I probably learned in my entire life.
Wow.
Wow.
So, go ahead, Deba.
That is powerful, because we have a lot of people that are listening that are like, I just want to get into flipping. I want to leave my job and get into flipping. But there is that mindset shift of like, most people just turn in one job to pick up another job. Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that tools of, okay, you did some flips, it was successful. Now you're wanting to scale that. What are 1 or 2 tips that you can share with us that you were like, this is the gold mine that helped me?
The first thing, and so to go back to that education company, I had some good success that they asked me to be a coach. And so one of the first things I would say is, when I was coaching students, is you got to let it go. Like Elsa from Frozen, let it go, let it go. You can't do it all. You can, but you're going to be stuck at some level that you're not going to be able to scale past. So learning the art of outsourcing. And I honestly, in the company, I became the outsource queen. Like, it was like a joke. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I found someone who did it, and I found someone who could do it better than I could do it, which was pretty easy, because I wasn't really that skillful at anything. I was skillful at identifying people who were skillful, and then outsourcing as much as my tasks. I have I can send it to you guys and you can share it with your audience, but I actually created a free workbook. But basically how to identify which tasks to outsource first, because that's where most people got stuck, was like, the mindset of like, I have to do everything myself because nobody can do it better than me. that may be a truthful statement, but again, you're going to not scale if you really want to keep that mindset. So for those people who don't want to outsource anything but have to, this workbook helps them identify what to outsource first.
I
I
need
love
the
that.
book. I need the book.
Yeah.
Um,
I need the book.
Deba, how important do you think it is that you have the skill to identify somebody else's skill set to be able to put them in a role where their strengths align? Like that right there within itself is a huge skill set. How did you acquire that?
Well, again, I think after doing that first year of, doing 6 flips, but literally, I mean, before the sun was up, I was at the job site or doing something working in the business. And I felt successful with the 6 flips because some people weren't doing that, but I'm like, there is no way I'm getting past this number. I could maybe get to 7. I think I was forced to because I wanted to scale. I wanted to live a lifestyle by design. I wanted my time back. I didn't want to be working. I'm not a worker. I'm not a worker bee. I got too many hobbies. Like I'm that person, if wins the lottery, I am not going back to work. Like those people are like, oh, I'd go back to work the next day. I couldn't be close to the job site. So I think I had to acquire the skill, and I read a bunch of books. The book that probably impacted me the most in that particular segment was The E-Myth. And it's very much how to work on your business, not in your business. And that's a skill set that this education company taught me, because we can look at all kinds of trades, plumbers, electricians. Most of the plumbers and electricians I work with in the business, they're still in the business. They're not working on the business. They're the ones going to the job site. They can only work on one job at a time. So they may own their business, but the business owns them more than they own the business.
So true. Man, that was powerful. Like I needed to hear that, because I think that many of us feel like, oh, no one else can do this better than I can. But then when you take the time to do like an inventory of your team, you realize, man, you're pretty beautiful at this. Like you make magic happen. And the biggest thing is releasing that from yourself and feeling like it's okay for someone else to do this, and it's not going to change how you see yourself. But
and it also might be like staying focused. Something else that I had a bunch of mentors. I'm going to mention mentors 74 more times. But something else a mentor taught me was we did this exercise called Your Perfect Day. And having complete, it's like a vision board, but so much more impactful. It evoked emotion. And I'll tell you a story where it actually came to fruition. But having that vision as why it was okay for me to outsource, because what you're saying is true. You may actually be better at doing this than somebody else, but you have to just get okay with, to get to that vision that I've created for myself, I have to give this up. And maybe they're going to make a mistake or two along the way, but I'm going to go from 6 to 26. So that's okay that I'm not doing it.
Right. So tell us now, like, what does LaDonna do with her time now? Are we still flipping? Like, what does that world look like?
That world. So yes. So I do still renovate homes. I have, I have 2 projects on that just completed. They're on the market now. My main focus though is acquiring something to buy and hold. So I'm venturing into a new area because again, I like to change it up as soon as I get complacent very easily. If anybody's been to a Tony Robbins event, he has like the humans have 6 qualities. One of them is consistency. The other one's inconsistency. I thrive in inconsistency. So I like changing my environment a lot. So I'm headed into new construction, build to rent. So I have a duplex. We have a duplex that we just finished the plans on. We just got our final budget on. We've got a great partnership with a builder. And our goal is to build it to rent for affordable housing. There's low-income housing. There's affordable housing, which is affordable/workforce housing. And in the market I'm in St. Pete, we are desperately low on affordable housing. So our goal is to build it and rent it as affordable housing. I'm also doing a co-living space, which I'm kind of actually a little more excited about because I'm partnering with a nonprofit who their client are people who have aged out of foster care. and we're doing a co-living space where we're going to partner with them. They're going to provide the client per room. And I'm just going to provide the housing. So that's going to help with the housing issue as well. So kind of two different projects, housing related, but more along, I guess, more passion projects. I've gotten past, fixing and flipping, and just it's not as exciting for me because I've done so many. So I think this is my new excitement level.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Giving back and having, that's purposely driven. I love it.
Yeah. And LaDonna, I didn't even know that we even had some synergy there. I didn't know that you were targeting people just getting out of the foster system. I think that that's so amazing. The lack of affordable housing in this nation is just like sickening to my stomach. And the more that I research it and the more that I talk to these different agencies, it's just like, it's painful. It really is painful to know that there are humans just like us, that families just like us are freezing to death outside, are sleeping in their cars when it's like negative 12 degrees. And so the fact that I'm just starting to see way more investors starting to put their energy into those spaces just warms my whole heart. So kudos to you, girl.
Yeah, so it's very infancy. I have a call scheduled Thursday with the CEO of the organization. We're a go. We're just, I have a property before. So I have one property that's going to be 6 rooms. That one's already set aside for them. I have this other one that just came available that's going to be 2 rooms. It's a small property. So I think we're going to start there, use it as our test property and see like what kinks we need to work out. And then I've got other investor ladies in my area, in the St. Petersburg area, who will be on that call to see how they can participate. So it's fun and it's exciting. Like I don't know. It'll be fun to see what this first quarter brings and how it ends up.
It's going to be amazing. And just so that you know, if you want to collaborate in any sort of way, my property's in Crestview, Florida. I know that you said you're where?
St. Petersburg.
In St. Petersburg. So anyways, my house houses just all women, and we'll have 11 women there. And so any way that we can collaborate, I would just love that, girl.
We will definitely figure it out. We're going to talk about it because, yeah, like I said, affordable housing for St. Petersburg, we're 20,000 doors short.
Wow.
With this co-living, with this nonprofit, they are currently 20 doors short just for the people in their organization. So we're doing anything that we can to fix the problem. And what I think is, this is going to, like, people are going to ask me about co-living. It's going to very much depend on your municipality. It's going to depend on your zoning. St. Petersburg, fortunately, is very housing initiative forward. And I can say that about them. But this won't work everywhere. You got to check what's going on in your municipality and see what they're willing to work with you. So don't just go setting up 6-bedroom, 2-bath houses without permission.
Yes. Yeah. But I will say, me being in Texas, that is the new wave, because housing is just becoming to the point where it's not affordable anymore.
Yeah.
So you are starting to see that in Texas as well, because the price of living is just going up, and unfortunately workforce is not. So it is having to come up with different ways of living and cohabitating.
Yeah.
I think this is the new way. So I'm excited to be, I'm never a pioneer in anything. Like, I'm never the first to do something in real estate. I'm always like watching someone else. How did it go? Doing over there. Oh, that seems to be working. Okay, I'll jump in. Yeah. So my advice is, and someone has to be a pioneer in real estate, whether it's new construction or whatever it is. That's just not my comfort level. I'm not a speculator. I'm more, let someone else do it. Okay, it seems to be working. We've tested it enough. Now I'll jump in. But I also don't want to be last. So I've got this very
got this tight little window.
I want to be first. I don't want to be last. I want to be right in the middle. I want to be mama bear. Yeah, there we go.
And so, LaDonna, you mentioned about mentorship quite a few times today in our call. And I want you to just kind of share with some of our viewers and our listeners about the importance of mentorship, the importance of get connected with people that have done it to help you. Just kind of share your personal experience of if you didn't not have used a mentorship.
Oh, I honestly can't even imagine. I can't even imagine not having a mentorship. But I think the one place I did excel since leaving high school was realizing I needed a coach, mentor, whatever you want to call it. And I always sought that out no matter what I was trying new. When I was a real estate agent, so before I became a real estate investor, there's a couple of different real estate lives, but right before becoming a real estate investor, I was a real estate agent. So I became a real estate agent, general population agent in 2007. Now, this is when literally people like, you've lost your mind and gone insane. Like, this is the worst real estate market. People are leaving the market in droves. And I'm like, hey, I got a great idea. I think I'll be an agent. But what I did is I went and got a coach. I researched in my area, which was Naples, Florida at the time. I found out who the top producing agents were. And one of the top 3 producing agents, she had a coach. So I went and hired her coach. I'm like, well, if it works for her and she's doing like 100 transactions, all I got to do is have them tell me what to do and it'll work for me. So I went and got a coach. So my first year as a general real estate agent, I can't remember the exact number, but it was somewhere like 4 or 6, again, single digits. And I got a coach and I went from that number to 85 transactions, where the average agent was doing 4 transactions a year. So don't listen to me and have me tell you, get a coach, get a mentor. Look at the numbers. When I went from being a real estate investor, I went from 6 transactions, 6 renovations a year to 26. So again, I would not have been able to do that without a coach. I don't think I would have ever got past the scalability of maybe 7 or 8 without a coach. Yeah. So you can go to YouTube University, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but having, that weekly accountability, especially when you're a solopreneur, which I am. I'm sitting here in my office, which is my house, and it's always been my house, by myself with my foster dog. There are no employees, there's no boss. I'm the boss of me. I'm like, yeah. So like when I wanted to work out, I went and got a personal trainer. It's the same thing. If I didn't go and have a personal trainer at the gym, I would go to the gym a lot less and I would sure as heck skedaddle out of there a lot faster. Like my trainer used to get mad because I would look at the clock and then then I'd have to sneak, like I'd be doing like a dip and look at the clock so he couldn't see me, because all I could think is like, I can't believe we're not done. And I look at the clock and we've been like, where if it was just me, I would have high-fived, got home, on the way home, had a donut. So having that coach, having that person, my trainer, that is what kept me at the gym 3 days a week, doing 6 different exercises of 10 different reps, which I would have never done by myself. Do I need to go on? What else do you want me to know that you should coach about? But I can't stress this enough. People I can't afford a coach. Great. You can't afford not to have a coach.
Ooh, that is beautiful. That is
I'll be back there doing 6 renovations a year instead of whatever number. I can now do whatever number of renovations I want. It's now my choice, not my limitations.
Right. And it sounds like listening to you, you're really talking about the shift in your mindset and getting around people that have done it so that it takes away the excuses of why you can't do it, because now that exposure, it's a new, different level of exposure for you that you never thought was possible.
When I was in that real estate, being an agent coach, we had a big conference in Vegas. Now, mind you, I've done at this point 20 transactions. I'm a big deal in my office. I'm like, check it out. I go in there and there's people on stage doing 125 transactions, 150 transactions, and they're pulling person after person up on stage, 175 transactions. I'm like, okay, I did 20. All right. So I'm maybe not the big deal I just thought I was 4 minutes ago. So getting into people with a mindset shift who were just there was a guy actually who did 300. I couldn't even think about him because he did 300 transactions. I'm going to focus my mindset to the 150 people and get my mind there, because I can't even think about the person that's doing 300 transactions.
Wow.
But the cool thing, and the thing that I want everybody to know, is that anybody can do this. Some of you may be looking at this right now saying, well, I didn't finish high school, or, I didn't go to college, or my family didn't come from money, or I don't know financial literacy. Literally all of those things they're really just excuses, because you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have graduated college or high school. You can find yourself a coach. in any city, whether you want to learn how to fix and flip, whether you want to learn how to be a real estate agent, whether you want to learn how to raise private money, there's somebody out there. And a lot of these coaching programs start off at just a couple $100.
Yes.
So take advantage of that. Yeah, I just wanted the people
You
to
can
know
have
that.
excuses or results, but you can't have both. So you can pick your pain. You can pick your pain of ignorance today or knowledge today. They're going to show up in your checking account later. So you decide how it shows up. Is it 6 figures, 7 figures, or are you struggling? Like, are you spending your time worrying about paying the next bill? You can get past that. So it's your choice. I went to college. I didn't graduate. I just wasn't a good student. I wish I had some like tragic excuse, but honestly, I was just a horrible. Like, I would love to come in here and tell you like, oh, well, then this happened and this happened. No, I was just a horrible student. I don't know if I have ADHD, haven't been diagnosed, but I do not pay attention very well. If it's a test about, paying attention, I will fail. I'll go ahead and dip out now because like I can't even bother taking the test. But like we all have, here's the thing, and I'm not downplaying this. We all have trauma. We all have life experiences that we've been through. I was an orphan for not a very long period of time. So that's my blessing, is I was only an orphan for a little bit. My mother was murdered and I didn't have a father figure. A nice family, which was her sister, adopted me. But then that came with some unique experiences because it was an all-white family and I wasn't. And so there's a lot of, racism that you have to deal with from both sides. So then you find, you have this, I don't fit anywhere. So anyway, I could sit here and tell you horrible trauma, sad story after sad story. And I could have dwelled on that, or I can pick up my, big girl panties and go figure out a way to make it happen. So I chose to pick up my big girl panties and figure out a way to make it happen. I entered a field, 2009, real estate investing was very heavy male. When I went to buy properties at the courthouse, I was the only female there. And, they tried to make a thing of it. And I literally told him one day, I'm like, you can try and get me out of here. I said, but I'm going to last one more day longer than you. So you decide how long this torture is going to go on, because I'll be here one more day longer than you will.
Period.
So you have to you can do the woe me. It's, men are mean in this field. Wah, wah, wah. Deal with it. Like, suck it up and figure out a way. But today there's so many more women.
Yeah.
I have multiple groups of real estate investor women. So if that's your struggle, then go find that group. But if you think it's an excuse, find the result to get over it and stop relying on that excuse on why you're not successful wherever you want to be successful.
That's true. Because the only thing that's hindering you is you. You're just in the way. Yeah.
And as soon as people can get to that mindset, as soon as they can stop blaming their lifestyle, their race, their ethnicity, their culture, whatever it is, I don't even know your financial status, whatever it is you're blaming, just stop it. Just stop it and go be a solution provider. And as soon as you get in that mindset, you'll succeed. You'll see success flowing to you.
It's inevitable. It's truly inevitable, once you start taking those action steps. This was really, really, really good. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, and I don't normally say that. It's just because you're so you're so seasoned in what you do, and then you just have this light about you, LaDonna. You're so real, and I think that there's a lot of people on here that are just watching you right now, and I think everybody's just amazed at your story. People want the workbook, so you said that you're going to get us. Is there like a link to that?
I literally just created this. So I will email it to wherever you need me to email it to distribute it. I tried to make it fillable online, or you can download it, but it basically just takes you through your tasks. It should be super easy, and it should be very obvious what you have to outsource first.
Beautiful.
Here's the thing. I literally just completed it. I've sent it to 2 people. I would love people to rip it apart, give me feedback. Because again, I wrote it from a mindset of someone who's been doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
So what I want to see is through the eyes of someone who's never had to outsource anything. That would be super helpful to me. So I would love the feedback of like, oh, you lost me at this part, or I need more information. Because I'm also not a detail person. I'm like, do this, move on. Do this, move on. So like, if you want a bunch of detail, I'll try to get more detail, but I would love the feedback. So I will send it wherever you need to send it. And I would love as much feedback as possible to make it better for the next person.
Absolutely. So if you're listening to this, watching this, if you want this workbook, in the comments on YouTube or even on Facebook, social media, send us your email and we will make sure you get that workbook, because we want to make sure that we help you with the tools for you to be successful.
Absolutely. LaDonna, thank you for providing that to our audience. I wasn't even expecting that, but we appreciate you. One last thing, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self and you could tell her one thing, what would that one thing be?
18. She was pretty confident at 18.
I love that.
I'd tell her two things. Think bigger, dream bigger. I'm still working on that today. And there's been many, many times where I've achieved my goals and I should have aimed for bigger and more and higher. But I think at 18, I was insecure enough to think I couldn't dream bigger. And now I know better. So I would definitely say dream bigger. And then also be coachable. I was always coachable, but I don't think I understood the value and how important it was to be coachable. And so I think I would have sought coaching and mentoring faster and for more areas of my life than I did. I was pretty good at, these big areas, I call them the big ticket areas. But definitely dream bigger, like big, like my dreams are so tiny. They were so itsy bitsy. I wish I would have known to done that more at a higher level.
Yeah.
Whew. Deb, I think we can both relate there, huh?
Yes, absolutely. You just kind of confirm what we've been dealing with in the background. So it has been such an honor having you on our podcast today. Like, I feel refreshed and ready to tackle the next task in our world. If people want to get connected with you, Miss LaDonna, how do they do that?
Well, I am on Instagram now, and I say that because I used to post 2 times a year, but now I'm posting fairly regularly. I am posting kind of like how to live a better life and also real estate content. So you can find me on Instagram at Champagne LaDonna. Kind of like, I don't know, that's just who I am. So follow me there. I'll be posting more information about my renovation projects, my co-living, my affordable housing projects. I have more workbooks coming out. One of my goals is to give away so much real estate stuff for free that it will be hard for people to charge for it. I still recommend getting a coach though. There's so much value in one-on-one coaching, but I think it's the programs that, just put up some not one-on-one coaching and then charge for it. I'm going to give all that away for free and then go find yourself a coach. If you need a coach referral, I'm in the business. I know a lot of people. I'm not a coach, but I know people who are excellent, so experienced, so patient, and so giving with their knowledge that whatever they're charging, it's not enough. So Champagne LaDonna is to answer the question on Instagram. That's where I'm going to be putting out a lot of content.
And you guys have to follow her. You guys have to check out her bathroom floor she just did with pennies. It's just a floor with the pennies. It's amazing. You guys got to just go check it out. So anyways, LaDonna, it's been amazing having you here. You guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Keys to Success podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to listen to more, be sure to subscribe to Apple Podcast and YouTube for our latest episodes.
Check out our show notes for more information on mentorship, private money lending, or if you just want to be a guest on our podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.